Welcome to Third Coast Sports TV 2. I'm your host, Wink, and we wanted to get in this situation about Andre Johnson saying that DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the game. I want to go ahead and do a quick video on it because I believe he's very accurate and he's being unbiased with his reasoning for saying that DeAndre Hopkins is the best wide receiver in the game. But what I'm gonna do is allow a few of y'all to go ahead and get in here first before I go ahead and give my thoughts on this video. Yeah, here we go, man. The last stream got interrupted. You know what I'm saying? Cause my damn phone, I didn't have my damn phone was charged up, and it went dead on me. But you know, that video had to come to an end, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the next video. And after this, I'll be on live tonight for Wink Wednesday on South Sports. It look like y'all coming in here a whole lot faster than this for this video. I guess because I'm being a little bit more active today, it's probably starting to send out the damn notifications. I definitely want to get Clarence ass back in here because we know they'll never mention the Jacksonville Jaguars receiver ever being a threat. Um, so it's easy to kill dudes like Clarence because they really think that they got overall better teams and because they get some semblance of success that they actually been doing this for quite some. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars been winning for some time now. And we all know that ain't true. Yeah, but everybody that's in here, y'all make sure y'all get in the comment section so I can give y'all shout outs, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button as well. I was fact checking the shit out of it. Yeah, we all were. It's easy, man. It's so easy to do. You don't even have to look the shit up on the internet to kill Jacksonville Jaguars fans. The moment you go to the internet and you can pull up some facts about this team, they no, it wasn't your Wi-Fi, man. It was my phone. My phone ended up dying on me. Appreciate you coming through the last stream. And if he online and if he said he gonna come back through here. Yeah, well, he gonna come back, and we're gonna have to go ahead because I wanted to go in a little bit more in depth in that video because we was getting on the road, more people was coming through, the views were up, the chat was going in, and that's the type of streams I like, you know what I'm saying? So I just want everybody to have a good time, but yeah, when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, this man has no clue what he's talking about. I know more about his own team than he does. He wasn't expecting me to talk about Telvin Smith and all of these guys that I can admit that I can say is good to have a bright future. But we just gonna keep it. We just gonna keep it G. These dudes had one good season. It'll probably be another 10 years before they win again. Jaguars fans like they're the Patriots after 1 year. Yeah, you right, Elijah. Like these dudes act like they so fucking legit when you're not even on both sides of the playing field. It'd be different if they still had Allen Robinson and Allen Hearns, and even there, okay, I could have at least gave them a bit more credit and been like, you know what, okay, they got a team, they got a contender, bro. They only legit on defense, and even with that, even if they still would have had Allen Hearns or Allen Robinson, and if they still would have kept Mercedes Lewis, Blake Bortles is still the quarterback, and we all know they were not winning games because of him. It was completely because of the defense and Leonard Fournette. They took the ball. They did the smart thing, took the ball out of his hands, and ran Leonard Fournette into the ground, and that's why he couldn't. He couldn't be. They couldn't use him in 16 games. You went to the D Hop workout, Elijah. I, I'm not sure. Jags fans have one good season and they think they're the best team in the league. Yeah, that's what I be trying to tell them, Zang. They don't. The Raiders did the same shit 2 years ago, and we saw how quick that ship sailed. And they still had the exact same team. They had a much better running back. They had better receivers and a somewhat better defense, and still couldn't win. But the year before, they was talking about, oh, Derek Carr, he on the way, he a top five key, he this, he that. Man, Derek Carr ain't shit. Derek Carr is not all of that. People really think Derek Carr is good. He is not that good. Y'all might want to really go back and go really look at his game. He is not all of that, and he did this behind the exact same O line he had the year prior when they finished in the top three of O lines. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give me that shit about it was this and was that. Khalil Mack ain't what everybody think he is because he ain't nowhere near as dominant as people think he is. He wins one defensive player of the year 2 years ago, and it wasn't even it was a mediocre year he had. He only had like 15 sacks. And to win defensive player of the year and all you had was 15 sacks and five of them were against Brock Osweiler in one game. So you see how the shit gets padded now? Like, come on, man. Like, the dude ain't out here like sacking the best quarterbacks in the game. And when it comes to him making big impact plays against the better teams in the league, he's nowhere to be found. He couldn't even show up against Brock Osweiler in the playoffs. But I'm supposed to believe that Khalil Mack is the best fucking player that came out in 2014. That would happen to be Aaron Donald. He's consistently done it with shitty offense, shitty defense, and has been consistent his whole career and has maintained getting 10 plus sacks a season since his rookie season. So he's the better player when it comes to those three, if we being honest. Khalil Mack and Jadavian Clowney flip your coin, and the only real thing people are gonna be able to hang over Jadavian Clowney is the fact that he tore his meniscus and shit like that in the first year. So I mean, we already know what's up. We already know what's up. He ain't game wrecking. He ain't getting in the backfield. He ain't taking down Todd Gurley. He ain't getting in the backfield taking down Todd Gurley the way that Jadavion Clowney was doing last year. I don't see him making no impact plays against Tom Brady on a consistent basis since his second year in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm kind of straying off course, but I'm gonna allow a few more people to go ahead and get in here before I actually start talking about what Andre Johnson had to say about DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of everybody in here is gonna agree. I see that there was no improvement since 1 year stats. So, yeah, stats don't mean anything. Like it's the eye test. Stats don't mean anything. And he was even wrong about the wrong stats. Why dudes trying to argue with me on Twitter talking about fucking Darius Slay is the best corner in the league just because he had eight when just because he had some interceptions this year and Kevin Byard led the league in receptions as a rookie and we want to say he wants to crown Darius Slay as the best corner when nobody's going to agree. Patrick Peterson is better. Um, Old boy from Minnesota is better. Um, Marcus Peters is better. I mean, there's so many. Yeah, Darius. I love Darius Slay. He's a top 6, 7 corner in the league, but he's not. He's not better than Chris Harris. He's not better than Sherman. He's not better than. I mean, it's a lot of guys. Come on, man. Yeah, you're right. It's no point in coming because I'm not one of these stat dudes. Stats don't mean shit. Stats, bro. It's about the eye test, and he ain't dominating games. And I can almost guarantee you most of the picks he got were off Xavier Rhodes. He is not better than Xavier Rhodes. Thank you, Xanax. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. He's not better than Sherman. He's not better than Patrick Peterson. He's not better than Xavier Howard. He's not better than Marcus Peters. He's not better than Chris Harris. I won't even say he's better than Talib. And then I would say he's the next one up. So I had him pegged. No, he's not better than those guys. Because he had a good year doesn't mean he's better. He's not. Derek Carr, boy, you on that Sherm? Yeah, Derek Carr. Sorry, but when seriously though, why don't people compare Wentz because Wentz and RG3 are nowhere near the type of quarterback. They don't make the same kind of mistakes. Um, they're more disciplined. They stay out of the public eye the way that RG3 did. They're not all about branding. They're about football games, and that's not a comparison that you can have at all. And people who do have lazy analysis and compare RG3 to Deshaun Watson when they're nowhere near the same quarterback? Do they have some of the same athleticism? And we can very well argue that RG3 was the much better athlete than Deshaun Watson. He's a far better athlete, but he didn't utilize his athleticism to his ability, and he always put himself in harm's way. Deshaun Watson is a complete different. If the only two quarterbacks that are comparable to Deshaun Watson are Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Those are the only two quarterbacks that you can compare in the league that we have seen that have played quarterback at a high level that you could say, or even close to Deshaun Watson. Um, nah, I'm saying they compared RG3 and what's it called, had a similar injury. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I was just saying there is no comparison. There is no comparison. And if we being frank, Wentz's injury was far worse than Deshaun Watson. The only reason why they're saying this shit about Deshaun Watson because as a rookie, he ended up tearing his ACL, still played the game and won. You know what I'm saying? So where you at? So now Clarence write me on the Xbox app, and now he want to talk shit because I ain't sent him the invite yet because I ain't even online yet because I'm doing a live stream. You know what I'm saying? So and of course, yeah, he's black. That plays into it too. You know what I'm saying? It's totally different stipulations for black quarterbacks versus the white quarterbacks, or what they would say is a traditional quarterback. But it is what it is. If Andre says it, then it's the truth about Hopkins. And I wanted to get into that right now because I don't want to really pretty much stay on the other stuff because I'm gonna end up having to stream and I'm gonna try to end up busting Clarence ass in this game real quick. But what I do want to say is his reasoning for saying what he said. Now we all know that DeAndre Hopkins has played with only one legitimate quarterback throughout his entire career, and that's Deshaun Watson, the rookie, who he just went up 13 spots last year to draft. And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. It's 8 people in here with 3 likes. That shit is unfair. Um, it's no reason because I've seen Antonio Brown play with Landry Jones, and I've seen how frustrated he was when he had to play with Michael Vick and Landry Jones a couple of years ago when Big Ben got injured early in the part of the season, and his stats dipped tremendously. Luckily for Julio has had injury concerns, but Matt Ryan has been a picture of health. He finds a way to stay healthy, stay in the game, and he completes the game no matter what. I don't think I've ever seen Matt Ryan knocked out of any game or where he's ever missed any time, not to my knowledge. If he has, y'all remind me and y'all let me know when that was because I don't ever really truly remember him missing any games like that. Julio has missed several games, and one thing that we can say that uh, even Antonio Brown has missed some games, but nowhere near to the extent that Julio has missed, or Odell Beckham, or any of these other guys, or AJ Green, all these guys that they have pegged as the top 5 wide receivers in the league. Now, the Red Rifle has been more consistent than any quarterback that we've had over the last 7 years or so. So DeAndre Hopkins has only been in the league. This is what his 6th year in the league. It's Andy Dalton has outplayed every single person. He has this. Not only does he have the stat line, he's been able to go to the playoffs, and he's had decent teams built around him to win, but he hasn't capitalized because he isn't equipped to do so in the playoffs. So, I mean, you have a problem there, and then you also have a head coach like Marvin Lewis who just for somehow some reason can find a way to keep his job when he should have been fired a long time ago. I think if they had a different head coach with the team that they have assembled in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati could win. But that doesn't look like that's coming to fruition anytime soon. So they're going to continue to be stagnant and stay in the same position. Hopkins led the league 13 wins, so I say yes. But it's not just about what he's done this year. It's about what he's been doing for years because he has 3 1,200 plus yard seasons. He has 2 years where he was in the top 2 or 3 in touchdowns. This is like the second year where he's had double digit touchdowns. And for him to lead the league, he was an All Pro this year, and the fact he did it against the best corners, and that's the stat line I want to talk about. I want to talk about the corners that he went up against just this year alone. If we go measure the corners that each and every one of the top, if we go pound for pound, team for team of all the teams that we had to play that all of these receivers had to play this year, I can almost guarantee you DeAndre Hopkins played the harder corners on better teams They had the better health. We had the shittiest quarterbacks. We had a shitty defense, so we couldn't even contend there. And we had abysmal coaching by our DC and our head coach. That's number one. And at the end of the day, regardless of all of that, DeAndre Hopkins was always able to prevail. And whenever his number was called, he showed up. That's a phenomenal football player, and that's who I want on my football team no matter what. I understand, you know, him being double teamed at time, and he's beating these double teams. I understand that Julio Jones and Antonio Brown can win double teams. But what people fail to realize, because people think that DeAndre Hopkins is just not that fast, when he ran a 4.4 at his pro day. Yeah, I know he clocked in at like a 4.5 when he was at. You see, but this is one thing that's not talked about. At his pro day, he ran a 4.4. And if you've looked at the tape over the last 4 or 5 years, whenever DeAndre Hopkins catches a long pass and he gets past you, he never gets caught. Jay, what's going on? Case in point, the Redskins game in 2014. Another instance, what he just did to the playoffs this past season when he took them for a 72-yard run, a catch and run off of that screen, and he beat Sherman. He did it in this order. He beat Sherman. He cut in and juked the shit out of Cam Chancellor, and he got past Earl Thomas, who's a faster football player, who they claim is a faster football player, and he made him end up pulling up on his hamstring 20 yards before he scored the play. That's uncharted speed, and the fact that he runs 5 miles a day, every day, to keep his conditioning up, that's not talked about enough. So what he can do longevity wise and how he's kept his body up over his first 5 seasons is better than anything that Julio and AB has done. So he already has that mark going for him. We're gonna talk hands. Now I understand that, okay, you got Julio and AB catching 130 some passes and shit like that. DeAndre Hopkins is on his way to shit like that now that he actually has a decent quarterback who throws the best catchable ball in the league right now. And that stat line is better than anybody else, any other starting quarterback in the league. He had the least amount of drops of any quarterback in the league last year, and that was in Deshaun Watson. So that's another aspect that wasn't talked about. Now, we talk about the quarterbacks that we've had over this period of time and the types of accuracy and how jittery in their footwork and just reading defenses. Nobody has equated and done anything even close to what Deshaun Watson did in 6.5 games. And it's absolutely ridiculous, the fact of how much better the team played under Deshaun Watson, and just a small sample size. And people actually think that the team will regress because of a small injury, which wasn't even a horrible injury to begin with, because it was a very clean tear. And the fact that he got it fixed in Switzerland, where they actually did with stem cell research to help the recovery even faster, is another thing that nobody outside of soft sports and that I've really truly brought up on this show time and time again. People don't think it's gonna make a difference. You'll see week one. You'll see. You'll see week one. They're gonna wish they had dudes like Julian Edelman and guys like that, because Deshaun Watson, and no, Deshaun Watson is already in that company of being an elite quarterback. He's like right on the cusp. I mean, as a homer, a lot of people will go ahead and say that he's elite right now, but I'm willing to go ahead and concede the fact to see how he does week one before I can make that analogy, because because every time he plays a contender or a team that's a legitimate team, he always plays to the best of his abilities, and he shows you something that you weren't even prepared for. So the fact that he's going to be able to show us that week one is going to show me everything, because I knew week three, once he played and how close that game was and seeing what he was capable of doing with the talent that we had, I knew then we were in for a long haul of greatness. And I have nothing to say about the Shady McCoy situation, because either he could be lying or she could be lying. I would do what I would advise everybody to do about that situation is wait for the facts. Just reserve judgment and wait for the facts to come out. I can't. When it comes to these, I'm not getting caught up in all of that. I mentioned that in a prior stream because somebody asked me about it. I said the exact same thing that I said to you, and that's not really going to change. I have nothing else to say about that. Um, Nobody got the toe drag swag last year. And what people and see another thing, last year DeAndre Hopkins had the most catches on the sideline with the toe drag swag. Then I think he had like 2 to 3 more catches than even Antonio Brown had on the sideline. I forgot what the stat was or something like that, but he was definitely past Antonio Brown in that stature. He led the league in touchdowns, like and receiving touchdowns, which nobody was even close at all. Don't I mean, of course you can say Todd Gurley because he had rushing and receiving touchdowns, but if we talking I think he was the only person who had double digit touchdowns this season in terms of receiving touchdowns, which was absolutely ridiculous that you have all of these elite players and you talk about Julio Jones being the number one receiver, but yet because that's the same shit they were saying about Andre Johnson. Yeah, he's getting hundreds of he getting like over 100 catches, and yeah, he getting like 1,500, 1,400 yards and shit like that. But his touchdowns is low. So why is it not the same for Julio Jones? Julio Jones had 3 fucking touchdowns and he got them all in one game this season. Games, you mean in 16 games? You mean to tell me that they don't know how to utilize Julio Jones in the red zone? They can't run a slant. They can't run no play action. They can't do any of these things to get him the ball more so that he can increase his stat line in terms of touchdown production is absolutely savage to me. You know, it makes absolutely no sense the fact that this is a top 3 receiver in Julio Jones and all he can produce touchdowns. And he's one of the more elite and respected receivers that has come out over the last decade or so. Marshawn Lattimore made Julio look bad. Well, I'm pretty sure he did. I mean, I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see that matchup, so I'll definitely go pick it back up. I can almost guarantee you it was a good ass matchup because Marshawn Lattimore last year was balling his ass off, and nobody mentions that for some reason that the only one is K from Good Morning Football. Nate Burleson be ripping. Honestly, Good Morning Football as a whole be ripping for the Texans across the board. Think he had like 2 yards for four. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely ridiculous. And he was a rookie. That's crazy. You see, nobody locked up. I could say of all the corners who gave DeAndre Hopkins his best game in terms of keeping him, from really, really going off was Patrick Peterson. That he's by far the best. He gave him everything that he could, and even Patrick Peterson, he still got off against Patrick Peterson. He still gave up a touchdown. He still gave up about 70 something yards. But at the end of the day, with that game, but he also had that in the game where Deshaun Watson wasn't the quarterback. So it's kind of hard to really judge that game because we can really take it to a point to where, hey, it was Tom Savage and T.J. Yates throwing the ball. It was Tom Savage who was the quarterback. And if you went ahead and you watched the mic'd up, which I ended up rewatching again today because I was just watching a bunch of Texans shit from this past season. Tom Savage was telling him all game how to adjust. Man, I'm doing this. I'm getting past him. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Bro, throw the ball like this. He was telling him the whole game. And the moment he hit him on that go route and he scored, and when he went back to the sideline and Tom Savage was patting him all on the ass, and she'd be like, "Yeah, you were right. You were right." And he could have been doing that the whole game, and he could have had well over 50 yards that entire game. People forget on how he beat Patrick Peterson on that crossing route for like 30 something yards when he was trailing him. He got behind. He needed somebody to pick up the slack. He tried to take that angle, make the tackle, missed, and the safety had to come up to come help out to prevent DeAndre Hopkins from even scoring on that play. How negative would that have looked if Patrick Peterson would have gave that up and DeAndre Hopkins would have got past that whole secondary and scored on that play, and it would have solely would have been on Patrick Peterson. Okay, when he had to play Jimmy Smith, and just think about all of these teams that we played. At the point in time when we played the Ravens, they had like they had the number one passing offense or some shit like that. He goes and he go sees Carr and Jimmy Smith. His jersey and shit is all ripped. We ain't even talking about what he did to San Francisco with old buddy before they benched his ass in the game. We ain't talking about what he did to Sherman. We ain't talking about what he's always done to Ramsey when he's had to play against him. We ain't talking about what he did against who else, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, yeah. He did. He tore on Jimmy Smith ass up that game. We ain't talking about what he did against the Rams. We ain't talking about what he did against I already said Patrick Peterson. We already said all these guys, and that's the point that I want to get back into. Like, if you add like the guys that Julio had to go against. Oh, and we ain't talking about what he did to Joe Hayden when he caught that pretty ass touchdown against the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Who else did we play last year? We played the Browns. We played the Ravens. We played. Oh damn, we played so many teams last year. If I had the full schedule, it would probably be easier. But just some of the names that I named because he torched the whole Legion of Boom, period. So I get to add in that I get to add in Earl Thomas, I get to add in Sherman, and I get to add in Cam Chancellor. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't talking about what he did to Kevin Byard. We ain't talking about what he's been doing to fucking Marcus Peters since Marcus Peters has been in the league. Bro, Marcus Peters has been in the league 3 years, and DeAndre Hopkins already has 6 touchdowns against this dude. I already went and checked. Like 6 touchdowns against this dude in the last 3 years. That's horrible. And we ain't even talking about the touchdown he gave up to him in Pro Bowl when DeAndre Hopkins went to the Pro Bowl, and that's how I knew when we played Sherman this year. I already knew he was gonna do what he did to Sherman because I saw what he did to Sherman in the Pro Bowl when he had good quarterback play 2 years ago. So I knew then that when it was time to play Seattle, he was gonna do what he did to Sherman and look, and he gave up. I forgot how many catches, and he was catching phenomenal ass passes against Sherman all day. That back shoulder pass he caught behind Sherman, and he fell backwards. He caught that post like in the first quarter for like 20 something yards. We ain't even talking about the 72-yard pass that he gave up on that screen. Like, it's just so many plays, bro, that Sherman gave up that game, and he was getting abused by Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins. So it's actually, yeah, he did it against Pac-Man Jones. Um, yeah, everybody in the AFC South. Vontae Davis got it. Ended up getting the business. We could go down the line. Like, if I had the full schedule pulled up in front of me and I could see every team we played, and he took on the best corners and they didn't want no problems. Safeties could make no plays against a safety. You could forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But these are the type of things that you have to take in consideration when you're talking about the best. We all know Odell, and it kills me. I'm in comment sections and I'm actually seeing so many people saying that Odell is better. Odell does have some flash to him. He does have a lot of accuracy. I mean, he does have a lot of speed. He's very good at running his routes. He has very good hands. But we all know he's very easy to get in his head. It's easy to take Odell out of his game if you talk a little shit to him. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is call him a faggot and he ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he fighting in nets, he doing all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is bring up some gay ass dance he did on Instagram, and he'll drop the game in a playoff game. He gonna show you that he ain't ready to contend. You know what I'm saying? So Odell has some things to work on. I mean, it is what it is. You ain't taking DeAndre Hopkins out of his game. You can't take him out of his game. Nobody has taken him out of his game. Not completely. And what you could see the most frustrated he was the year that Brock Osweiler was the quarterback. And it was clear he was frustrated. It was clear in his route running. It was clear in his route running. It was clear that he wasn't making a full effort because it was just like, I mean, and I can't even fully say that because he wasn't trying to get killed, and I don't blame him because, bro, Brock Osweiler was putting that. His ball placement was horrific. You know what I'm saying? And I saw your little misses. I saw you was talking shit. Don't worry, your ass whooping coming soon. I gotta do the show. I gotta do the show with Honcho, which we know you're gonna be a part of, and they're talking shit. So I'm gonna resume to text your ass in here, in the sauce, and I'ma stream this ass whooping. So everybody gonna be on Mixer watching me whoop your ass. So don't even worry about it. You're gonna get what's coming to you. But anyway, before I was abrupted, no, Odell is not overrated. He's not overrated. If trust me, if you could have Odell on your team, you would. I mean, to say he's overrated, no, he is not. He's not overrated. But I will say he can be better in certain spots when it comes to playing against some of the better competition in this game. And we're not gonna act like he hasn't stepped up. And yeah, I'm talking to you, Clarence. There ain't nobody else in here called Clarence. You the only Clarence. Yeah, you know you wrote me. Yeah, I saw your little message on Xbox on my phone. It popped up. I'm gonna finish the stream. I'm gonna hop in Honcho stream because we got Wink Wednesday tonight. You gonna be in there. I know, just like you in here right now. When I'm done, when I'm done with his stream, I'm gonna get on Xbox and I'm gonna whoop your ass, and we gonna stream it. And because we all know you can't contend with me anyway, and neither can your team. But we ain't talking about them right now. Because one thing we both know, you as a Jaguars fan, me as a Texans fan, we know there'll never be no mentioning of no top receiver in y'all tandem. Not even 2 years ago when y'all supposedly had the Allen brothers who were getting all of this shit in garbage time, just like that garbage ass Bortles. You know what I'm saying? When he had 35 touchdowns when dudes laid off and y'all still couldn't win no games, but he had all of these supposed good stats that were padded but couldn't win no games, so it meant nothing anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna show you again, just like I showed you the last two times I played you. You know, you couldn't contend. You had no answers whatsoever. Now, no, actually he not. Actually he not. He's actually in the games, actually doing what he was supposed to do. The only game that he was even kind of slow to start in was the Kansas City game, and he played that, and he had what, 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns, and the defense partly lost that game because they couldn't do what the fuck they were supposed to do against Kelsey and Alex Smith and Tyreek Hill. And trust me, y'all will end up having the same problems. You know why? Because y'all ain't got no good quarterback and y'all ain't got no receivers or no tight end who can stay on the field and make plays. So, let me know when Fournette get hurt. Yeah, we'll see who come up behind him, or don't let him get concussed or anything like that. That's y'all season. Let Fournette miss 5 games for y'all. Y'all season is over. I guarantee it. Like Men's Warehouse, I guarantee it. But I ain't even gonna waste my time on Clarence because we gonna get back to the subject at hand because he gonna get his due diligence in about an hour or so anyway. You know what I'm saying? So like I was saying, it's a lot of guys that when we talk about contending, like like if we talking about catches, if we talking about spectacular catches, all of these guys can make spectacular catches. DeAndre Hopkins showed everybody last year because he had the most sideline catches of any other receiver in the league. I can't even make this shit up. Y'all can go look this shit up on your own, and you'll see that I'm not lying. But we talking about beating the best corners week in, week out. And yeah, you can get it too, man, Miles. After I'm done with Clarence, because he gonna be easy work. We ain't worried about him. I beat him probably 21-0 him before the second quarter even get there. Not worried about him at all. But yeah, Fournette ain't. I mean, who's behind Fournette? Who's gonna make an impact? I mean, what offensive scheme do they have that anybody in the league has to be worried about? Nobody's worried about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I don't want to spend no time on them because I'm trying to hurry up and end this video. But DeAndre Hopkins has all the tools, and I already think he's the best wide receiver in the game, and that's not even because I'm a Texas fan. I would never say anything just because I'm a Texas fan. Wink 5100, bro. Wink 51. Yeldon ain't shit. Yeldon been here and he already got his job took by Fournette last year. We ain't nobody worried about no TJ Yeldon. TJ Yeldon is hot garbage. Um, what's good? What's going on, Berkeley boss? Yeah, ain't nobody worried about Eric Villa. Ain't nobody worried about Yeldon. Period. You are not worried about no T. When is T.J. Yeldon went off against the Texans? He has. He made a couple of plays when they were up, but he come on, man. We know he ain't the truth like that. It was so easy for Fournette to have 100 yards the first game, but then in the second game he couldn't get 100 yards. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. He's not really all that. His type of those type of running backs, we don't have no problems with at all. Corey Grant, don't care about him. He ain't shit. No, Austin Jenkins isn't better than any quarter. No, he's not. He hasn't done anything in the league. When he was with Tampa Bay, when he was with the Jets, and he definitely ain't finna do shit down there. He's with Blake Bortles. Come on, bro. We sending y'all some trash. We sending y'all. Be prepared for to get some trash cans shipped to y'all this year at Jaguar Stadium. Trust me. Ain't nobody. We gonna make sure that the trash cans is lined up at Everbank Stadium. Trust me. We gonna make sure they in y'all swimming pools. You didn't think I knew about them, huh? Trust me, I know. I done rolled by that raggedy ass stadium a few times. Not impressed. Um, if you take away Fournette's big run, yeah, exactly. Austin Safarian Jenkins. Austin Safarian Jenkins. He's done nothing in the league. He's 6'7", and he's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing in the league, and he's wasting his size and talent because he can't even really play. Lamar Miller had 100-yard games last year. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We were before Deshaun Watson had. We were third in the league in rushing. What are you talking about? Don't act like you forgot. When were y'all? When were y'all ever in the top in rushing? That's what I want to know. Y'all were never in the top in rushing. Y'all were never even mentioned. Y'all would. Fournette didn't even have 100 yards every game last year. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He had a low 1,000 yards last year. He missed like 5 games. What are you talking about? No, you were not number one in rushing. No, you were not. No, you were not. Stop it, bro. No, you were not. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Just stop it. New Orleans was better than y'all. Kareem Hunt, Kareem Hunt, with what he did last year with the Chiefs, they had better rushing than y'all. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Somebody pull the stats from this dude because Clarence don't know what he's talking about. He's just glad that the Jaguars had some kind of success last year, so he's willing to spot out anything to feel important. I mean, come on, bro. Just stop. Just stop it. Come on, man. It's easy work. Come on, like Jay easy work. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. He act like this dude. He act like Fournette like Arian Foster. Like, and he ain't Arian Foster. He ain't LaShawn McCoy. He ain't Le'Veon Bell. He ain't Todd Gurley. He ain't even Kareem Hunt. He ain't, hell, he ain't even fucking old boy from the Saints who they had last year. Whose email address? Who you asking? Who email address you asking for? I don't know. He must not be talking to me. He must be talking to somebody. Top 10, period. No, you just said, no, 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 no. You just said they were the best. I don't want to hear that. Third stream today. Yeah, I'm free. I've been off all. Yeah, I'm off for the week. Yeah, it's my third stream today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm not even really worrying about it, but I will say that Andre Johnson is has been right in what he had to say, and you have to take a lot of things in consideration because I done already seen AB without being Roethlisberger, and he was horrible. So that just leads me to believe that he's not as good as receiver as everybody thinks if he doesn't have phenomenal quarterback play. We haven't seen Matt Ryan without Julio Jones, but we've seen Julio Jones get hurt and be gone for quite a few games during the season. Hey, he's been healthier, recently, but we're not gonna act like Julio can't pull a hamstring or he ain't gonna get hurt. DeAndre Hopkins missed one game because Bill O'Brien didn't want him to play in the very last game, and I feel like he should have let him play just so he can get to 1,500 yards. But that was whatever. He could have easily had two touchdowns or a touchdown in the last game last year, but they chose not to play him because the game didn't mean nothing anyway. So Bill O'Brien he did the smart thing, and he was still 4 to 5 touchdowns ahead of the very next person who was second in line in touchdowns last year. Winners, the winners. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. But that's my video. I'm getting ready to call it a wrap because I'm getting ready to hop in the stream with Honcho. We getting ready to go. He's getting all the shit ready, so I don't want to be late for that. I appreciate everybody that came through the stream, even you, Clarence. Make sure you tune into the sauce so you can still talk shit in there. We're gonna chastise you a little bit more, and then you're gonna get your ass whooping. In Madden, you and your Jaguars. Like that. Like I've been taking care of y'all real easy. Um, and yeah, I might just send out something on Twitter. If y'all follow me on Twitter, something like that. If y'all follow me on Mixer, I'm gonna make sure that Honcho puts my Mixer link inside of um inside of the chat so that y'all can tune in to me destroying the hell out of Clarence. But I appreciate everybody that came through. Welcome to Third Coast Sports TV. I'm your host Wink, and I'm signing off.